My dad is marrying my ex-wife. What the actual hell? Hey Reddit, so I'm Ethan, 31, and I'm pretty sure my life is a messed up soap opera. My family has always been all about my dad, David, and his money. I'm the middle child, the practical one, which basically means I'm invisible. My older brother Grant is the golden child, and my little sister Brianna can wrap my dad around her little finger. I always felt like I had to work twice as hard for half the recognition. Now I'm still processing how insane this is. Should I just disappear? Because I think that's seriously what I want to do. I don't even know where to begin with this story. Okay, so I was scrolling through Instagram, just killing time, and then bam. There it was. A picture of Serena, my ex-wife, flashing a huge diamond ring, her arm wrapped around my dad. The caption, "I can't wait to marry the man of my dreams, engaged soin love forever." I literally felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My stomach churned. I almost threw up right there on my phone. I mean, SERNA. The woman who drained my bank account during our marriage, who constantly complained I wasn't successful enough, who left me for some tech bro with a Tesla, she's marrying my dad, a man old enough to be her father. It's disgusting. I felt this wave of nausea wash over me, like the world was tilting on its axis. I kept rereading the caption, thinking it was some sick joke. But no, it was real. The comments section was full of congratulations, people gushing about how cute they were. Cute. This is not cute, this is a nightmare. I called my brother Grant immediately. He just laughed. He said something like, "Well, Dad always did have good taste in women." I wanted to scream. I explained how messed up it was, how Serena used me, how she's clearly after my dad's money. He just dismissed me. Dude, get over it. Be happy for Dad, he deserves to be happy. Brianna was even worse. She called me jealous and accused me of trying to ruin their father's happiness. Like I'm the bad guy here, they're the ones who are delusional, my own family. It felt like a betrayal on top of a betrayal. I'm completely alone in this. I'm starting to think I should have just stayed in bed today. This can't be my life. So after talking to Grant and Brianna, I knew I had to talk to my dad. I drove straight to his house, my hands shaking the entire way. I needed him to see reason, to understand how manipulative Serena is. I walked in and there they were, all lovey-dovey on the couch, Serena practically sitting on his lap. The sight of them together made my skin crawl. "Dad, we need to talk," I said, my voice tight. He looked at me, then at Serena, a smug little smile playing on his lips. "What's up, Ethan?" I tried to stay calm, to explain rationally. This thing with Serena, it's not right. You can't be serious about marrying her." Serena rolled her eyes and muttered something about me being a bitter ex. I ignored her and focused on my dad. "Dad, she used me. She drained my bank account. She's only after your money." He just laughed. Like it was some kind of joke. "Ethan, don't be ridiculous. Serena loves me. She makes me feel young again." He patted her hand. My stomach churned. "Young again, Dad, she's a gold digger. She left me the second she realized I wasn't rich enough for her. Now she's targeting you." My voice started to rise. I could feel my face getting hot. "Ethan, that's enough," he said, his tone sharp. "I know what I'm doing. Serena is good for me. She brings a youthful energy to my life, something you clearly lack." Youthful energy? What the actual hell? He was seriously buying into this crap. I felt like I was in some twisted reality show. Brianna, who had somehow appeared in the living room, chimed in. "Yeah, Ethan, just get over it. Dad's happy. Why can't you just be happy for him?" Grant, ever the supportive brother, added, "Seriously, man, you're acting like a child." "It's embarrassing." Embarrassing? They were embarrassing. My entire family was a walking, talking embarrassment. I looked at them, at their smug, self-satisfied faces, and something inside me snapped. This wasn't just about Serena anymore. This was about years of being overlooked, dismissed, and undervalued. This was about my dad's blatant favoritism, about always being the responsible one, the one who never got any credit. "Happy for him?" I practically yelled. "You think I can be happy for him marrying the woman who used me, who lied to me, who stole from me? You think this is normal, healthy? This isn't a family, it's a circus." My dad stood up, his face red. "Get out, Ethan, just get out." I stared at him, at the woman clinging to his arm, at my siblings smirking at me, and I knew. This wasn't just a fight, it was a war, and I was on my own. I walked out, slamming the door behind me, the sound echoing the hollow feeling in my chest. This wasn't normal. This was toxic, and I was done. A week later, and things have gone from bad to nuclear. I've been trying to stay away, give everyone some space to cool off, but apparently, that's not how the Montgomery family operates. They've launched a full-scale smear campaign against me. This morning, I got a call from my Aunt Susan, my dad's sister, who I haven't spoken to in years. She proceeded to rip me a new one, calling me selfish, ungrateful, and accusing me of being jealous of my dad's happiness. How dare you upset your father like that, Ethan? After everything he's done for you, she shrieked. Done for me. He's given me nothing but condescending looks and backhanded compliments my entire life. I tried to explain my side of the story, but she wouldn't listen. Serena is a lovely woman, she insisted. She's brought so much joy into your father's life, you should be ashamed of yourself. Lovely, this woman is a master manipulator. Then, get this, my cousin Emily posted something on Facebook about how I'm a bitter, resentful loser who's trying to sabotage my dad's relationship. Sabotage. I'm trying to save him from being robbed blind. The comments section is a dumpster fire of people I barely know chiming in with their opinions about my life. It's like a public stoning, and I'm tied to the stake. My work is suffering. I can't concentrate. I'm constantly checking my phone, dreading the next notification, the next attack. I haven't slept properly in days. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I can't even talk to my friends about this because it's so unbelievably messed up. They wouldn't even believe me. This isn't just about Serena anymore. This is about my entire family ganging up on me, twisting the narrative, making me the villain. They're trying to silence me, to invalidate my feelings, to make me question my own sanity. Gaslighting 101. But you know what? It's not working. The more they try to push me down, the more determined I become to fight back. I'm done being the quiet, responsible one. I'm done being the scapegoat. They've awakened a sleeping giant. I'm gathering evidence, talking to lawyers, doing whatever it takes to protect myself and expose the truth. This isn't over, not even close. They messed with the wrong son. So I finally broke down and called my Aunt Carol. She's always been the black sheep of the family, the one who wasn't afraid to call my dad out on his BS. I was hesitant at first, you know. This whole thing is so messed up, I felt like I was losing my mind. I almost didn't call her thinking, who's going to believe this craziness? I started rambling, barely making sense, trying to explain the whole Serena dad engagement nightmare. Aunt Carol, I said, my voice shaky, Dad's marrying Serena, my ex-wife. There was a long pause and then, he's what? She sounded like I'd told her the sky was green. I explained everything, the Instagram post, my conversations with Grant and Brianna, my dad's dismissal, the whole 9 yards. I told her how everyone in the family was siding with them, how they were making me out to be the bad guy. I even told her about the smear campaign, Susan's phone call, Emily's Facebook post, all of it. By the end, I was practically hyperventilating. Ethan, she said, her voice low and serious, I believe you. Just those 3 words, I believe you, felt like a lifesaver. Someone finally saw me, heard me, validated me. But everyone else thinks I'm crazy, I stammered. They think I'm just jealous. Ethan, she said, your father has always been susceptible to, let's just say, a certain type of woman. Beautiful, charming, and often very good at getting what they want. This isn't the first time he's been blinded by superficiality. My jaw dropped. What do you mean? What else has he done? She hesitated. Let's just say there have been financial indiscretions in the past. Situations where he's been easily manipulated. She didn't go into details, but the implication was clear. This was a pattern. Then she said something that really hit me. Ethan, Serena is after his money, I'm sure of it. You need to protect yourself, and frankly, you might need to protect your father from himself. That's when it clicked. This wasn't just about me being hurt and betrayed. This was about something much bigger. This was about my family's future, about my dad's well-being. Aunt Carol's words were a wake-up call. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. I was the only one seeing clearly. I felt a surge of I don't know clarity and anger, a righteous anger. I was done being the victim. I was done being silent. I was going to fight for myself, for my family, for my future. I was at my dad's house for what I thought would be a casual Sunday dinner. Casual in the Montgomery sense, meaning catered food, expensive wine, and enough fake smiles to make my jaw ache. I hadn't spoken to my dad or Serena since the youthful energy incident, but Aunt Carol's words kept ringing in my ears. Protect yourself, protect your father. So I went, armed with a stomach full of dread and a forced smile plastered on my face. The atmosphere was thick with tension. Grant and Brianna kept shooting me these smug, knowing looks, like they were in on some big joke I wasn't privy to. Serena, decked out in designer clothes and dripping in diamonds, probably bought with my dad's money, flitted around like she owned the place. Dinner was excruciating. Every clink of silverware, every forced laugh, felt like a nail being hammered into my coffin. Then after dessert, Serena clapped her hands together and said, in that sickeningly sweet voice of hers, David, darling, I have a surprise. My dad, completely under her spell, beamed. Oh, and what's that, my love? Serena pulled out a velvet box. A small, antique velvet box. My blood ran cold. I knew that box. It was my grandmother's. It held her jewelry, pieces she'd cherished, pieces that were supposed to be passed down to us, her grandchildren. I was thinking, Serena chirped, wouldn't it be lovely to auction off some of these older pieces? They're so outdated. We could use the money to redecorate the house, maybe even buy a little vacation home in Aspen. My stomach lurched. My grandmother's jewelry. The jewelry that held so much sentimental value, the jewelry that was part of our family history. She was going to sell it. For a vacation home, I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. This wasn't just about the money. This was about erasing our family legacy, piece by piece, replacing it with Serena's shallow, materialistic desires. This was about her greed, her complete disregard for anything that mattered to us. You're what? My voice cracked, all eyes turned to me. Serena gave me a sugary sweet smile. Oh, Ethan, darling, don't be such a stick in the mud. These old things are just gathering dust. It's time to move on. Move on, I practically roared. These aren't just old things, these are my grandmother's, they're priceless. My dad, bless his clueless heart, chimed in, now Ethan, don't be dramatic, it's just jewelry. Just jewelry. Something inside me snapped. It was like a dam breaking, years of resentment, anger, and hurt flooding out. I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. I pointed at Serena. You, I said, my voice shaking with rage, are a parasite. You're sucking the life out of this family and you're doing it with a smile on your face. I turned to my dad. And you, I said, my voice thick with emotion, you're letting her. You're so blinded by her fake charm, you can't see what she's doing to us. To you. In that moment, everything changed. The years of feeling invisible, of being the responsible one, the one who always cleaned up everyone else's messes, it all came crashing down. I wasn't Ethan, the overlooked middle child anymore. I was Ethan, the protector, the one who was going to stop this madness, no matter the cost. I felt a surge of power, a sense of purpose I'd never felt before. I knew what I had to do. I had to expose Serena, to show my dad, my siblings, everyone, the truth about who she really was. I had to fight for my family, even if it meant tearing it apart to save it. That night I didn't sleep. I spent hours gathering evidence, digging through old emails, bank statements, anything that could prove Serena's manipulative ways. I contacted a lawyer, I was ready for war, and I wasn't backing down. All right, Reddit, buckle up, because this is where things get interesting. After that jewelry incident, I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch Serena dismantle my family. I was done. First things first, evidence. I needed cold, hard proof of Serena's shady dealings. I spent every spare minute combing through old emails, bank statements, anything I could get my hands on. Remember how I said she drained my bank account? Well, I had the paper trail to prove it. Transfers, withdrawals, shopping sprees, it was all there. I even found some old messages where she was complaining about me to her friends, bragging about how she was going to trade up once she found someone richer. Jackpot. I printed everything, organized it meticulously, and stored it in a fireproof safe. Paranoia? Maybe. But I wasn't taking any chances. Then I started documenting my dad's behavior. I knew he wouldn't believe me, so I needed to show him how erratic he'd become since he started dating Serena. I noted every impulsive purchase, every change in his routine, every time he contradicted himself. It was disturbing, seeing how quickly she'd manipulated him. It was like he was a different person. Next, I consulted with a lawyer, a shark of a lawyer. Aunt Carol recommended him, and he specialized in protecting family assets. He was expensive, but I knew it was an investment in my family's future. We discussed my options, the legal implications of Serena's actions, and how to best protect my dad's estate. He advised me to gather as much evidence as possible and to prepare for a messy fight. Challenge accepted, but the most important preparation wasn't legal, it was mental. I knew this confrontation was going to be brutal. It would be the fight of my life. I had to be ready. So I did what any sane person would do. I started boxing. Okay, not literally boxing, but I needed an outlet for all the rage and frustration I was feeling. I started running, lifting weights, anything to channel my anger into something productive. I needed to be strong, not just physically but emotionally. I couldn't let them see me break. I also started meditating. Sounds cheesy, I know, but it actually helped. It helped me clear my head, focus my thoughts, and visualize the confrontation. I played out different scenarios in my mind, anticipating their reactions, preparing for their attacks. I knew they would try to gaslight me to make me question my own sanity, but I was ready. I was prepared for anything. I knew this confrontation could shatter my family. It was a huge gamble, but I was willing to risk it all to protect them from Serena. I was done being the quiet, overlooked son. This was my moment, my time to finally be seen, and I wasn't going to waste it. Game on. Okay, Reddit, here's how it all went down. The showdown, the main event. The moment I finally stopped being the family doormat. It was another casual Sunday dinner at my dad's place. Same setting, the ridiculously lavish dining room, the same sickeningly sweet atmosphere. Grant and Brianna were there, of course, still giving me those smug looks. Serena, as always, was the center of attention, draped in enough diamonds to sink a small yacht. My dad, completely oblivious, just lapped it up. I waited until after dinner until everyone was settled in the living room with their after-dinner drinks. I took a deep breath, grabbed my briefcase containing all the evidence, and stood up. The room went silent, all eyes on me, time to drop the bomb. I think we need to talk, I said, my voice calm, steady. No shaking, no stammering, this was it. Serena smirked. Oh, Ethan, darling, what is it now? Condescension dripped from her voice. I ignored her and addressed my dad directly. Dad, I have something to show you, something you need to see. I opened the briefcase and laid out the documents one by one on the coffee table. Bank statements, emails, printouts of Serena's social media posts. The evidence of her lies, her manipulation, her greed, all laid bare for everyone to see. What is all this? My dad asked, his brow furrowed. Proof, I said, my voice rising, that Serena is a fraud, that she used me, that she's using you, that she's only after your money. Serena's face paled. Ethan, you're crazy, this is all lies. Lies, I laughed, a cold, hard laugh. Really? Then explain these bank transfers, Serena. Explain these messages where you're bragging about how you're going to upgrade your lifestyle. I read out excerpts from her messages, highlighting her disdain for me, her blatant gold-digging tactics. With each word, Serena's composure crumbled. She started sputtering, trying to defend herself, but her lies were unraveling faster than a cheap sweater. Grant and Brianna, initially dismissive, started to look uncomfortable. The smugness was fading, replaced by a dawning realization. They couldn't ignore the evidence staring them in the face. The turning point came when I revealed the documents showing Serena's attempts to convince my dad to sell my grandmother's jewelry. That's when my dad finally saw it. The blatant disregard for our family, the cold, calculating greed. His face went white. He looked at Serena, really looked at her, and I saw the scales fall from his eyes. You were going to sell Mom's jewelry. He whispered, his voice barely audible. Serena stammered, trying to backpedal, but it was too late. The damage was done. Then I turned to my dad, and this is where it gets real, Reddit. This is the part I'd been rehearsing in my head for weeks. Dad, I said, my voice raw with emotion, this isn't just about Serena. This is about you. About your constant need for validation, your inability to see people for who they really are. You've always chosen superficial charm over genuine connection. You've always favored Grant and Brianna, while I, the responsible one, the one who's always been there for you, have been invisible. Well, I'm done being invisible. My voice echoed in the stunned silence. The power dynamic had shifted. I wasn't the overlooked son anymore. I was the one holding all the cards. My dad looked at me, really looked at me for what felt like the first time in my life. And I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before, shame, regret, maybe even respect. The rest of the night was a blur. Serena, exposed and humiliated, stormed out, spitting venom and threats. Grant and Brianna, speechless and ashamed, avoided my gaze. My dad, broken and defeated, sat in silence, staring at the evidence of his own blindness. I won, Reddit, I finally won, but the victory felt hollow. My family was fractured, my dad was devastated, and I was exhausted. But I also felt a sense of liberation. I'd finally spoken my truth. I'd finally stood up for myself. And even though it hurt, it was the most satisfying thing I'd ever done. It's been a few months since the explosion. The fallout has been, well, messy. Serena, predictably, vanished. Last I heard, she was trying to sue my dad for breach of contract or some nonsense. My lawyer, the shark, is handling it. He practically cackles every time she sends a threatening letter. It's kind of morbidly satisfying. My dad, he's a mess. He lost a significant chunk of change thanks to Serena, but thankfully, with the lawyer's help, I was able to protect some of the family assets. He's still reeling from the betrayal, from the realization that he was so easily manipulated. Our relationship is strained, to say the least. He's apologized, but the words feel hollow. Years of feeling overlooked, of being the invisible son, don't just disappear overnight. We're taking it slow, trying to rebuild, but I honestly don't know if we'll ever be truly close again. Grant and Brianna, they've actually been surprisingly supportive. I think seeing the evidence, seeing how thoroughly Serena played them all, was a wake-up call. They've apologized for dismissing me, for not believing me. We're not suddenly best friends, but there's a newfound respect, a sense of solidarity maybe. It's weird, but good weird. As for me, I'm different. This whole experience has been a crucible. I've learned to set boundaries, to prioritize my own well-being. I'm no longer seeking validation from a family that consistently failed to see me. I've realized my worth doesn't depend on their approval. I'm focusing on my own life, my own happiness. I'm actually happy. It's a quiet happiness, a peaceful happiness, a happiness that comes from within, not from external validation. It's a new feeling, and I like it. I've also learned that sometimes you have to burn it all down to rebuild. It's painful, it's messy, but it's necessary. Sometimes you have to be the villain in your own family's story to become the hero of your own. So Reddit, what do you think? Anyone else have a family drama that rivals this one? Because I'm starting to think my life could be a best-selling novel, or maybe a Lifetime movie. The title, The Inheritance of Betrayal. Catchy, right?